Give me another chance, 'cause I have really needed you. I'm still the same. I played a waiting game. You ought to know my love is true. If I've hurt you, I'm sorry. Darling, don't you worry, 'cause I really, really love you, baby. If I've hurt you, I'm sorry. Darling, don't you worry, 'cause I really, really love you, baby. I'll give you a clue about the thing I wanna do. Hope you would give me the answer I need. I bought a ring and lots of rings.
Hello? Hello? And you better find me, you know? I've been over this morning. Hello? Aha, my bishop, I come on in my money, in the idea, the brother, the sister, the president, the family. This one of the twists into the excellent program we will get so far. So I want to welcome Abdul Sissay, DJ is with the Moses for Summer ENT. And so we decided to put a twist on because obviously the whereabouts today we don't be able to on the east side, but we don't use the full resources and everything. But I don't want to get away too much because I can possibly introduce the guest. The whole idea was just to say, waiting passionate, waiting connect to me. Actually, waiting connect to me. So the passion for the person who work for Wide Korea, I will let that into the other MC and part of the panelists who can talk about we host of this event. So I decided to say the Health Show Partnership Program where now the umbrella of one of the reasons why we are. Yes, we are supposed to celebrate Isatta in Malta, but guess what? The umbrella and the Health Show Partnership Program where comprises of so many umbrella spokes. And when you look at the umbrella, you don't have to, and then there are so many spokes into that. And that's the reason why, because we will find out a little bit more why this woman decided on the Health Show Partnership Program. If we don't call it Isatta as a show, it will still be successful. But she said the Health Show Partnership Program. Because there are so many other partners under that one step, under that one seat. So, as I said, our definitely, we get the rights of panelists there, and also work and they will to the people there. I hope say you prepare. Anyway, for introduce and we chief host today, I will call on a dearest friend and somebody who is equally within the health sector and has done so many great work, but she does it in her own way. She has the strength and she has a movement. And she's a force to be reckoned with as well as Isatta in the community. But she does it in a silent way. And doing it in a silent way does not mean that she's not strong. Don't mess about. She's got a portion. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the wonderful, amazing Mrs. Nimata Ture.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Sissay, for that introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Are we eyes in Malta? Yes. This girl, it not going to stop. Every time you go, you will talk about wellbeing. And so, it's very important for me to introduce our host for this afternoon. The beautiful person I'm going to introduce to you this afternoon. She is a lovely mom, a sister, a friend, a wife, but above all, a woman that believes in health and well-being. And a passion for cancer awareness is above anything in this world. I'm not going to bore you too much with the accolades because this woman is a big book. It don't go all the universities then in London. So if I begin start, we don't go down. I'm not going to finish the introduction. But without any further ado, I want you all to be upstanding and put your hands together for our dear host in Malta And the host for the health show this afternoon is no other but Mrs. Isatta Sissay-Jalloh.
Keep clapping, people, keep clapping.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sure Abdul Wahab has already said it. This was not planned. It wasn't part of the plan. But as I said last night, my life and the journey I go through in life is influenced by so many people positively. And what I've learned to do is to be flexible and be responsive and reactive to whatever good comes to me. None of this was my plan. He just said to me, I have an idea. Him and Mr. Jalloh had a brief discussion about it, kind of an idea. And so he said, I'm going to go and ask them if they can give us a dome, and we can do the health show there, and then we can party for a couple of hours. I'm like, okay, for real? He says, yeah. So he's sorted it all out. So thank you, and give him a round of applause. So people who don't know why I love this brother of mine, these are some of the reasons. And like he clearly said, the health show is a partnership. So lots of heads come together, and good comes out of it, and actually greatness comes out of it. So the health and well-being affair that some of us have taken very seriously is really because of the impact it's having on our community, especially our Sierra Leonean community. The amount of time and energy we invest in social activities, financial activities, welfare activities, we really don't invest that time in our health and well-being. And what sometimes we fail to realize is if you don't have a good health, and if your well-being is not checked, then it doesn't matter how rich you are, it doesn't matter how many cars you have, it doesn't matter how many houses you have or you've built, they become meaningless because you will not enjoy them. So please, let us consider our health and take it very seriously. And it comes in so many different forms. I know primarily I focus on cancer, but this afternoon we are not, because we are going to focus on things that kind of, when you look at all of them, they can be encapsulated when you talk about stress. And they can all lead to cancer, because stress is one of the factors, one of the many factors that can lead to cancer. So we're going to talk about things that are day in, day out in our communities, be it black, be it white, be it Hispanic, and so on and so forth. We're going to look at things across the section. We're going to give these beautiful speakers 5 minutes each to just give us something brief. And then once they've all spoken, it gives you, as our guests, to ask them questions. Is that all right? Yes. Well, thank you so much for those of you who have made it here. I know some people felt it was a detour, and they're here to have fun and party, but sometimes we also need to do a little bit of seriousness just to give ourselves a bit of a spin. True. So I will start with, we tried to get more men, by the way. We managed to get a youth, a young lady, and we managed to get one man. So just in case somebody watching out there, don't say we're not diverse. We try to be diverse and inclusive as much as possible. Mabinti content is there. I thought I got it right. So she's gonna start with an interesting topic, just to say to us, know your body. Because when you know what your normal body feels like and looks like, it's easy to pick out when something goes wrong. So she's going to share just a quick story that happened last September, isn't it? When we were all together partying, and then things just immediately went wrong. So, over to you, Fatma, Mabiti.
Hello, everybody. My name is.
Check. You can sit. Yeah, they on.
My name is Mabinti Conte. This story won't be like Isatta said. We drove to Reading. I drove to Reading for IHC charity event, and Isatta was there, and DJ was there. I was fine when I got there, mingled, and then all of a sudden I started to have a headache or just a tingling. So I said, well, let me just take painkiller. So after taking the painkiller, still the headache did not go. So I told my sister I'll go and wait in the car, and I had this pounding headache I've never had before. And then I started to vomit. So I did not know even. So my sister usually doesn't like driving on the motorway, but that night she had to drive. So we drove back home. I stayed at a place in Catford. The headache subsided a little bit. And then the following day, the headache was still there. So I spoke to my sister, Angela. She said, because you vomited, it's better for you to go to A&E. So I went to Lewisham A&E, had a scan, blood test, and they said that there was bleeding on my brain. So I was told to go to King's College Hospital because they specialize in that area. So I was taken by an ambulance. So when the ambulance was going, it was like the emergency. I said, why is it an emergency? It's just a headache. They said, and the way I was reacting compared to what they saw in my brain, it was different. But they were asking me questions, and I was responding. So I got to King's College. They did a scan again, and they said they have to do an emergency operation. So I went in, they did the operation the first time. After the first time, I wasn't responding. And then the second time I went, they had to do another operation. And my sister said I was in there for over 10 hours for the operation. So the main story behind this is you have to know your body. If I had ignored that headache and not go to A&E, it would have been a different story right now. So just advising you, because you have to be a nuisance, go to A&E, even if they say everything is okay, you have to insist. It's patient choice. You have a choice for them to do all the necessary tests. So that's the story. So luckily, 6 months ago, I had the operation September 28th, and even after the operation, they were quite impressed. I recovered quickly. After 2 weeks, I went back home. So before I came to this holiday, I went to have another scan. They said everything's okay. And I was lucky enough, like after the operation, I did not know that I could fly or go anywhere. And in January, it was my daughter's 30th birthday, and as a result of that, we went to Mexico to celebrate. So celebrate your life, know your body, and then however you're feeling, make sure that you have it checked. So alhamdulillah, thanks to Allah, I'm here now, everything's okay. Because I've had different stories of people that have headache and they ended up very badly. So I'm thankful to God. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mabinti. Know your body. Be insistent. Sometimes people say the doctors got it wrong. They didn't check me. It all depends on your presentation. The story you tell, what you tell the doctor is what they usually take into account. If you're not a good historian, it makes it difficult sometimes. So please, just think about that, know your body and know when it's not right, so that you take immediate action. I'm going to do a spin on that, and then we're going to move on to our gentleman. He is going to talk to us about driving, the impact driving has on health and well-being. Our dear Melvin Toure, who is a professional driving instructor, will share a little bit on how we should manage ourselves in order to avoid fatal accidents. Over to you, Melvin.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sister Isatta. Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, whatever it is. We're in Malta. Are you happy out there? everybody's life. One thing I can say, driving is a lethal weapon to kill if you handle it the wrong way. If you kill somebody while you're driving, 5 months, 10 months, you're out. So my duty here tonight is to advise you what to do to have it safely done. One thing I can say, especially to the youths or to the adults who don't want to go through the crucibles of learning the essentials of driving. One thing I can say to you, if you decide to go a little bit out of legal, say you want to go buy a license yourself, there's only one word I can say to you tonight: don't. Because if you do, you're going to kill somebody. I came from Africa. I know how to drive. I thought I knew how to drive. But I know how to drive only for the African section. But real driving, I don't know. In Africa, we drive cars without cars having mirrors. In this country, you have to have mirrors in everywhere you go. So one thing I understand and I learn is that, please, it might look expensive, especially coming from me. Take that time to learn. Please, and for adults over 40, the older you are, the more difficult it is to learn. A normal person takes from 30 to 35 hours on automatic. On manual, you can go as much as you want. Please, driving is very essential in life. Do not trust any driver. Only trust yourself. Believe in yourself. Look the road ahead. Look at your mirrors. Mirrors, you might look at them as if they are not actually important, but they will save your life. And also, the other part of it is insurance. Some people try to dodge insurance. Insurance it's like what can I say? Something there to protect you when it goes wrong. Do not go the other way and avoid insurance. You might be killed. Okay, fine. You are dead. It's all right. Nobody wants to die, but to die you're dead. But remember, you have somebody else out there. Your kids, husband, family, that depend on you. That insurance will look after them at least for some time. And if you hit somebody and you are not insured, my dear brothers and sisters, you're going to jail. And for a long time. Just for that 100 or 200 pounds you got to do every month. Don't avoid being insured. And if you're not insured, do not drive a car. You can have a license. It doesn't mean that you are insured. It goes together. So in a nutshell, if you want to be safe, please respect driving. It's an essential element of life. It's a lethal weapon. You go to jail, no. I kill you because they don't know. The first thing they're going to do, they're going to check me. They call it DNA, drug and alcohol test. If you go across the road and I hit you, it doesn't matter whether you go across me unexpectedly. It's your fault. But if the DNA me and I'm found to be intoxicated, I'm in. I'm going to go down. But if I hit you there and I pass my drug and alcohol test, you are dead. And I go 6 months or maybe 2 months. So all I can say, protect yourself out there. Driving is very good, but yet still it kills. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Melvin. Road safety. Very, very important, road safety. Yes, mirror, signal, and maneuver. Mirror, signal, and maneuver. Constantly, you have to do that. You have to check that. And my dad once said to me, just like Melvin has said, when you're driving, always remember every other driver is insane. And if you think that way, it means you're always on your guard. You're always self-conscious and self-aware. You're always attentive. Be mindful of medications you're on, especially prescription medications. There are some prescription medications when you're taking them, when you look at your patient information leaflet of that medication, it tells you avoid driving or avoid driving heavy vehicles. That is because of some of the side effects of those medications. Don't take it for granted. It's very important. Thank you so much, Melvin, for that. It's really important for us to pay attention to those things, because once you kill somebody, whether you're in the right or in the wrong, you might suffer from PTSD for a very long time, post-traumatic stress disorder, because you're responsible of taking someone else's life, whether you're at fault or not. So be self-aware, be responsible, make sure you go through the right channel. And I think the reason why Melvin is saying that as an instructor, driving now, I don't know about America, but driving in the UK learning how to drive is very, very expensive. You're looking at least a couple of grand, right? At least 2,000. That is with your free, from start to finish. And so sometimes people see that as quite a lot of money. And so they go to Jebuwe. They go and buy license when they've not really learned how to drive. Now, you can do that and get away with it for 10 years or plus. It just takes that one accident. That one accident, and they will check that license. And you'll be in serious trouble. And even if you have a driving insurance, that driving insurance will be null and void. And you'll be considered a fraud. So it's very important. I'm going to move on quickly to our young lady here, who is also the CEO of One Charity, and they specialize in women, especially in modern slavery. She's just going to tell us quickly, Razors, because we do have modern slavery in our community. I personally realized that during the COVID time, the amount of elderly women who were brought to this country by people to come and help them raise their own children, and without supporting them financially, and once the children were old enough, they kicked these elderly women out. So in London alone, I'll tell you, we've got at least 50 women that we came across who are in their 70s and 80s, who've been abused and misused to raise children up. And once they're done, they chuck them out. And they don't have no recourse to public funds. They have no fixed abode. So they're hopping from one household to another, sofa surfing. So Adama is going to tell us just briefly about that.
Good afternoon.
I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Adama Nyama. I'm the founder and director of a charity named Women's Health Advocacy Network. And this charity supports women and girls who have gone through gender-based that constitute of sexual violence, domestic violence, modern slavery, FGM, forced marriages, you name it. I'm based in London, but supporting everyone all over, but especially the marginalized group. The people who have problems in accessing support, who cannot go to mainstream support, or mainstream support is not modified and tailored their needs. These are the people I support. Modern slavery, they got a broad concept. It constitutes a lot. I will focus on the one that usually happen within our community through the implementation of what we have found out. We have forced marriages, we have sexual exploitation, we have criminality, we have domestic servitude. Domestic servitude is the one that is actually happening in our community. And sometimes some people are not aware of the law and the cultural practice, because majority thinks that is the norm. You get these people coming, they work for you, they do things for you, and you let them go. Back home, probably it's okay. But here, these people meant to have life. They meant to have their immigration status to get access. But when you brought them in and get them to do those things, and then just let them go like that, with no recourse to public fund, no access to anything, what life do you give these people? We have got elderly community that we're looking after. These elderly women have no recourse. We have 75-year-old women. We have 70-year-old women who are practically doing sexual slavery, prostitution just to survive within our community. We have women who are sleeping in the living rooms of other friends. They have to cook. They have to clean because they cannot contribute in that household. And they need to be portioned what amount of food they eat, when they should watch the television, and where they need to sit in that house and when. If the host has a visitor, those women have to leave because probably they don't want to be seen within that period. These are women who have spent 22 years, 20 years, 18 years, 19 years, you name it in the UK, within our community. So please, 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 please. These women have no saying of their life. They don't eat when they want to eat. They don't do what they would need to do. They don't sleep where they need to sleep because they have no recourse to public fund, therefore has nothing. They are in the masses of other people. Sister Isatta is aware because we actually saved a lady 2 days ago. 22 years, no job, no husband, has been in this country and helped majority to raise their kids. Had a brain tumor 5 years ago. Survived, and now breast cancer this January. I wake up a month ago with a message saying, I am going to end it. I have no way out. It's too much. I have nothing to live for. I was at work. I nearly took the day off. I don't know how I felt that day. And I called, I said, we have to do something. And I called her, I said, if we help you, would you still want to do what you want to do? She said, if you help me, I will not do it. I'm doing it because I don't get any help. And this woman is practically making herself okay for the community to say, because she doesn't want them to see through what she's going through. But she had killed herself, and they would have gone to that funeral and spent on that funeral, and everybody would be crying. And when no one actually took this woman to say, can we take you to a lawyer and check out your immigration status? Can we help you to do this? It's within our community, within. Let's not go far, let's check inside. Our family, our friends, they're struggling. I got women who are living in destitute life in the UK. Let's go beyond the makeup. And these women, we stood up across Sissay-Jalloh, we have to do something. I went with her for chemo. The matron came. The matron said, I have someone came with her. No one has ever go with her for her chemo. And she has helped endless people raising their kids in our community. Not one person spared her an hour to go with her. The matron came, we have someone came with her. Who are you? I introduced myself. All the nurses are coming around. No one has pounds. I get 50 pounds. That's how she was saying, why not? I got 50 pounds. I got 50 pounds. Look, I got 50 pounds. Every week, they got their text on their phone. We get them to the cash machine. They punch their numbers, collect their money. Every week. We need more funds to save more elderly women. Please. Thank you. I know this is 5 minutes.
We don't really understand the gravity of some of these things. Our nature is, as long as it's not happening within our circle, we don't want to know, we don't care, we're not interested. But we have to be. The reason why we're raising this awareness is because you might be that person that will save that individual, that will make a difference to their lives. Now we're talking about two different types of people here. There are people who they've chosen to leave their family, but there are people who were brought here and used and abused or manipulated, because a lot of these people are manipulated. So let's be aware of them and just help support as much as we can. I'm going to move on to Miss. I'll let Miss Lunatilis introduce herself. But she's gonna just talk to us about the impact of true friendship. And again, people might say, what does this have to do with health? It has everything to do with health. Stress. Because if you've got bad friends around you, all they infest on you is stress. And create more problems for you.
Is the fact that when you need them, they're not there. I talked about the roots people yesterday. You find the roots people in true friendship. So, Nina, over to you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sure most of you have known me by now, if not for yesterday or this few days that we've been here. My name is Nina Tunis. I'm just going to give you a brief history about myself. And for those who know me, you already know that I'm an only child. My mom passed some 6-7 years ago. And I was raised up very cocooned, very sheltered, very spoiled. I didn't have friends. My friends were all in school, and we know what that means. If you come from a well-to-do family, you have friends for the wrong reasons. And when you come home, it's just yourself, especially, as I said, I was an only child. Now, as I said, I didn't have any friends growing up. I started having true friends or friends when I came to this country, when I came back to London, because I was born in the UK. And I came back when I was 19 years old. So I spent all of my childhood years in Sierra Leone. Came back when I was 19, and I was right back there. My mother was a career woman. She was a legal career woman. She was a family person. She was very professional, and I wouldn't say she didn't have time for me. She loved me to bits. As I said, I was sheltered, I was spoiled, I was cocooned, everything. But the one thing she didn't have time for was being my friend. And that led to a whole bunch of, I wouldn't say insecurities, but I wasn't comfortable around other people. I always thought, I didn't know what you're around me for. But when I came back to London at the age of 19, my first thought, I needed a friend. And you know what? How I got a friend? I wanted a child so that I could have my own friend. And I had my daughter at 21. She is my first true friend. There's nothing that she doesn't know about me. She's been with me my whole adult life. I'm now 48. In June, I'll be 49. Now, I've got, apart from my daughter, I've got 3 people who would almost know me as much as my daughter knows me. And two of those people are here. One who's a celebrant. The other is Miss, I don't know if she's here, Miss Jackson and Saray. And my other sister friend, Lucy Campbell, who lives in Boston in America. So, those are my 3 true friends. But what I want to say here is that because I didn't have friends growing up, I did a lot of, true friends who I would say no matter what happens, will tell me you're wrong, will tell me you're doing the right thing, you will tell me, no, don't do that. I didn't have any of those until well later into my life, in my 30s, that I started having really good friends who I could offload myself to. I couldn't do that when my daughter was growing up because I'm supposed to be the mother. I'm supposed to keep her mind healthy. I'm supposed to be her support. When my mom died,
you can do it.
when my mom died, these three people, aside from my daughter, showed me what friends or sisters are supposed to be. I didn't have to worry about nothing. From the day that I got the report that my mom wasn't well, until the day she died, until the day I left London to go to Sierra Leone, I didn't do anything. I literally didn't make no arrangements. I didn't spend no money. I didn't cook. I didn't buy anything. These three people were there, including my daughter. So all I'm trying to say, we are all very good people, very good people to whoever we're good to. We are supposed to be sensitive towards other people's feelings. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to talk about people, but know who and what you think about your friends, your close friends. If someone says something or tells you something in confidence, it's supposed to be confidential. If your friend is doing something out of the way that you know is not right and is going to be or implicates the person in a negative way, tell them. They're not God. They're not monsters. They're not going to kill you. They're not going to harm you in any way. They will be grateful to you later on for showing that little ounce of friendship or some sort in directing them in the right way. So please, let's start being real friends to each other. Not just because, oh, okay, so I've got £1,000 today, let's go spend it. No. Because I'm going away on holiday, I can pay you way to come with me, so you're my friend. No. Friends are supposed to tell each other what's wrong, what's right, the good, the bad, the ugly, the not so good. However it is, you're supposed to be free and positive about your friendship with that person. So I hope from now on, or from whatever, you start being true friends to your friends that you call friends. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nina. True friendship. It's important. Gossiping. As long as you live, you can gossip. Everybody gossips. With man and call news. News na kukusa. And journalists are the official gossip. But what we should try not to do is be malicious about what we say. Especially when it impacts someone directly or, it has a very serious implications on their personality, on who they are or where they are or their relationship. Because again, all of that leads to stress. And stress is a factor of so many illnesses. Okay, let's move on. I'm in her second degree. She's, she's my namesake. We're addicted to education, academia. Those who follow it, we follow it, and we're obsessed with it. She's doing her second bachelor's in science. She's a qualified nurse, and she's soon to be a qualified midwife. So she will share with us some of the key things that are important when you're transitioning as a young adult from education to working as an adult. Just some of the tips we can take on board and might be useful for other young children around us. Over to you, Isatta. Thank you.
I'm doing my master's in midwifery, but I've been a registered nurse for 4 years now, I think, 4 or 5 years. And then key tips from transitioning from uni to work life. I'd say major tip is just lean on your loved ones for support. Always ask for advice. So when I first graduated, it was during the COVID pandemic, so everything was very chaotic in the NHS. Nothing was really structured. I was pretty much thrown in the deep end. Whenever I needed advice or support, I had a great manager, thankfully, so I'd always ask. If you don't know what you're doing, ask, see what is available to help you. I would come home to my mum and sometimes just complain and cry a little bit, or I'd call Auntie Asta and ask her for advice. So I'd say, yeah, one of the main things is just lean on your loved ones for support, for advice. Always ask questions. Don't feel like you're not qualified enough. If you are asking questions, if you don't know, everyone is learning. You come out of uni pretty much still a baby, or pretty much thrown into the deep end, so you still have a lot to learn, and you should always be open to learning new things. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. And I think for us, the parents, the aunties, the uncles, it's about, because sometimes our young adults are very shy. If you've been around me a long, I try to bring them out of that shyness. Some of them do take heed, some of them rebel. I actually saw the boys, they came all the way there, and I think as soon as they realized I had the microphone, they legged it.
And parents is not just about being a biological parent. Us all adults here are parents. It's for us to be able to pick up the cues, look out for when our children are distressed or struggling, and when they're going through challenges, how best to support them. Sometimes, as parents, you that have that direct relationship with your child, the child sometimes sees you as an enemy. You become their enemy sometimes when they're growing up. But if you have a good pool of people around you, which again leads on true friendship, you can pull on one of those and link them with that child so that they can do some mentoring and support. And so now we're going to lead to our MC, who is icing in Malta. Our MC there is one of my heroines.
Years on social media until I actually had the opportunity to meet her by attending one of her functions through our dear sister Harriet, who I think has awards today. She's, oh, good. She's not award. Oh, okay. You're not absent without leave. Oh, you're present. Lost property. Yes, good. So Harriet actually, she was doing her function because she comes from Sweden, and Harriet said to me, "Oh, I'm going to her." I'm like, "For real? Do you know that lady?" I said, "Oh my God, I've been following her on social media. She's doing such great work." Peggy has her own charity, the Peggy Woodbury Foundation. She will tell you a little bit about it. She's going to talk about teenage pregnancy and just how us as parents, if you experience that, and if your daughter or your niece or your cousin or your relation experience that, what to do about it rather than what we usually do in our community. Because automatically a young lady falls pregnant, that's it, they're in trouble. It's negative, it's bad, that's it, your life is finished, you've got no future. And Peggy's going to tell us that's wrong. Because wherever there's life, there's hope. And it's always the end that justifies the means. Over to you, Peggy.
Thank you, everybody. Well, I always say, it's my story, it's my dream. At 15, I got pregnant. Not because I didn't have or because I had to, but because I just wanted to check what my body was waiting in my giving. So I fell in love with this my neighbor who lives in Borough, by the way. Where's that lady that lives in Borough? When I don't borrow people and I bad people. So of course I got pregnant. As the girl, I suffered. His folks sent him to London and he's been there for ages. And then I had to drop out of school. And of course in a community like Sierra Leone in those days, you are shunned, you become an outcast, and in school you are not allowed. Luckily for me, I went to one of the best schools in Sierra Leone, the convent. So my principal at that time she said, oh, when she heard the story, everybody, just like Nuna was saying, they don't come to my parents or they go around. Hey, you think you don't get the leg? If people, they don't send and go in a village. They didn't send me to the village. My parents were very supportive, but because I was just 15, my mom says she was very Catholic, so she said, no abortion. If you want to kill you, get them. But we will support you. So I had my aunt, Dr. Gada, in Geneva, who had a hospital, so my parents sent me there. So my dad told me to say, they don't send a woman in the village. But I was well taken care of. I had the support I needed, I had all the care I needed. I always called Auntie Teresa my savior because I would have died. I didn't know my body, just like you were saying. A teenager cannot be a mother. I couldn't be a mother to my child. I always say my daughter I had at 38 made me a mother. Because at 15, with me, when you became a Christ, my dad never. So, but because of the support I had, that's really what I speak about. When I speak about my story, I didn't drop out. I was able to go back to school. The even say, it's not okay if you don't want to come to school because you're ashamed. They said, take your book and go get them. I took my book because I was about to take my O-levels. I gave me book and go get them and I studied. I had my child April. They say exam in June. So I give them a and they go, let me go give the week. All that is the stigma, everything that goes with it. I said, no, I'm not going to go back to school. I said, I know, I don't drop out finally. But then my sisters, I remember, my sister, they buy ice cream one. They go for it on the campo in that heat. They say, they don't even know say it will melt. Because they said they were just 18, 19, my elder sisters. They buy the ice cream, they drop now was a camp. They say, baby, we just want to show you, say, this is not to the end of your life. You go back, you will go back to school. I say, all right, so open the ice box, the ice cream, the almost melt. We'll take out, we'll go to the 3 guys who sit down, we say, what do you think you will go to that thing? I said, because I don't even say why the thing happened. But that's what happened, because you don't know, we don't talk about it like taboo, no prevention. If I did not say, hey, we don't know this thing, I think this thing was like to do that. Or later man, they said, ladies say, where that thing? No, we don't speak about it. So we just discover, we explore, as we ice solar, the water. So we are, if we are not water icing, I'll tell you, I'm bring food. We don't have unwanted babies. There was serious things that was taboo. We don't talk about it. Hunting as someone. I don't get that experience. Or maybe again, my sisters, now we don't talk about that. So that's why now I speak about sex with my child. My children, they even go away all night, they don't like we speak about sex in the house because it's very important. So I got pregnant. I was able to go back to school. They said they can't go back to it. I said, no, we'll go ahead and first. I go at my dear. I said, because you go at my dear, the uniform people fix for they wear. And so since they wear, I said, okay, they will get scarf because it's a Muslim school, so you cover the body. But I breastfed for only 4 months. My sister Cambo, he take me picking in Garabo Freetown. So I will able to go back to school. I go back to school. That's my own levels. I graduate school like that place. By Istanbul, I did my 6 from there. Yeah, I said I found foundation, but I already had my foundation. Very strong. So it's just that second chance they gave me. I said, no, I have to take use of this second chance. Then I went to school, went to university, go back, France, do the postgraduate in public administration. So I always say, if me don't make it, I made it. Because of the support my parents gave me, because of my own determination, then all the girls can make it. If we give them that second chance, if we stop making it that taboo, if we start talking about sex, giving them the preventions they need, showing them where they can access it, then they can make it. So, the Baby Women Scholarship Fund, what we do, we have girls, we did it in two folds. So we have teenage mothers, so giving them the second chances. When we put them back to school, we enroll them, we have free daycares for the kids, they drop their kids, and they go to school. Why did I do that? Because as I say, can be story, can be dream. Why did they go back to school? Because my sister, that I don't give you work at bank. When you don't give you work at NGP. So you get small money. So if they take the kid, if they drop out, and Christian knows you have to go cross, then we go. So me, they will go school. So in the resource centers, we call them, we have free daycares for the kids. So the teenage mothers then, they go on Nakabala and whatever, and they will begin as we buy your times. Because we do a survey, and we know the teenage pregnancy is very high in Australia. But it was the four top ones were Koyalugu, Moyamba, Kujo, and Kailam district. But fund-wise, we still limited like 2,000, but we still do book like the other 1,000, or not get like the set of resource center. In Moyamba, we can build your center, well, solar and everything we get. What we put there? First, we put library, for let them read. We put the daycare, for let them drop them to them. Then we get a health room. The health room, when one of the Ghanaian friends that's really helping with Dilam, we need a room. So they get to know where they come, where they talk to them about prevention, where they talk to them, and they tell me, demand there, and different types. So they know all about it now, and they know where to access it. So that's for the teenage mothers, so giving them second chances. Then we say, no, let the doctor say this one, well, I'll never let me go to be back to school. No. So we also have our teenage girls. Teenage girls, we have workshops for them, we pay their fees, we give them school materials, we have libraries in all those towns that we have the resource centers, Freetown, Moyama, and Kabala. Then we follow them up, we do mentoring, we do workshops, we do a lot of programs for when I read girls to girls talk. They are, most of our activities are girls initiative, and mostly are the DEP speaker for talk now, because you cannot just be going and talking so girls, and that I noticed as well. When they get workshop and they all the high up like table, then they talk to the girls, they give it to no, we don't work like that. How we work like the girls themselves, they arrange the workshop to guide them, and they say to themselves, this is what we should do, this is what is good, this is what is bad, and we just guide them. So most times I can get people there. So if anytime you want to go to Freetown, or Moyamba, or Kabala, you can just be there. Some say, oh, I want to talk to my cancer, with the organizer. If you go, we don't get the center as the organizer, but we get that, we get a package as well, we get a program, but we don't get like the just talk to the because I can still all of the private girls, and you don't do anything like this. I can't do more than what I can do. Because
Sexually transmitted infections, because some of these infections can actually lead to lack of fertility. It can affect fertility. Things like gonorrhea, things like chlamydia. So it's very important for us to talk about it. I know it's difficult for some parents, but we have to. Because our children do a whole lot behind our back that we can only imagine. Last but not the least, Nima is also a cancer specialist nurse in ocular cancer, cancer of the eye. And she is also just going to tell us briefly about the importance of skin lotion. As black people, we sometimes don't realize that we are actually susceptible to skin cancer. And one of the ways we can easily have skin cancer is through direct sunlight. So Nima is going to speak to us briefly about that. Thank you, Nima.
Thank you, Isatta. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
I can see all of you wearing shades. I'm happy. Sun hats, it's good. So how many of you have had your sun cream this morning to come outside? Can I see a show of hands?
Me not Orina Rob.
So I can see out of over 20 people, I can count just about 10 will not do well, because I'm sure our host Isatta constantly was putting into the forum that please put your sun cream. Why am I going to talk about NPCC? I've recently just been a specialist nurse in ocular and orbital cancers, and you'll be amazed to see how many black people come into our department with skin cancer. And we grew up in a tropical country where the ultraviolet radiation is really quite high, and we don't have the awareness. What the Health Partnership does is we raise awareness. We believe in prevention. Prevention is better than the cure. So we are all here today. I want to raise awareness about skin cancer. What is basal cell carcinoma? It's more or less the change that the direct sunlight causes into the skin, and when it damages the DNA of the skin, you get a growth that the cell just overgrow and it builds up. You get a lump. Or for the skin cancers, you get like a scab. Some people get a lot of black spots. So some of those black spots that you see around your eyes or your nose or around your face, if they've been there for too long, don't ignore them. Get them checked. Even though skin cancer, they grow slowly, but they can be very dangerous when it infiltrates into your orbital side, that basically into the eyes, the structure around the eyes. We see the eyes is a very tiny organ, but there's so much into the eyes that what the eye can see. So wearing dark shades is very good when you're out there in the sun. It's not fashion. You're doing well to protect your eyes from the UV radiation. Please, I just want to emphasize, I'm not going into the pathophysiology of basal cell carcinoma. I just want us to know that We're coming to summer. If you're stepping out when it's hot and sunny, put your sunscreen on, wear your sunglasses. It's not just about fashion, it's you protecting your eyes against the radiation from the lights. So that's all I want to say to you guys as we are out here today. If you're going out, sitting around the pool, make sure you put your sunscreen on, and if you're looking directly into the sunlight, wear your dark shades. That's all I want to say to you. Look after yourself and protect yourself from cancers. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So it's question time. Nima, you're going to come down and help with that.
You never cease to learn. I've learned so much from your people today. My passion is school nursing. I've been doing this for years, and I'm looking forward to retiring from it. But what I want to add to what you guys have already mentioned, you know, I know people are up in arms when they say don't talk to your children about sex at age 10. My daughter, believe it or not, she asked me about how babies were made when she was about 7. And I know why I live here. And the moment I started speaking, giving her the details, she went, too much information, Mom. So this is just to tell you, she's had it in the playground at age 7 and wanted to find out, because I told her, whatever it is, come to me. So she probably wanted to prove a point, you know. So I used that opportunity to talk to my child. You know, we are friends. Don't scare your children away. You know, another thing I'll add to that is when people come to me at age 14, 15, and they've had sex, I always ask them if they enjoyed it, because it's something that is meant to be enjoyed. But a lot of them, they are under duress, they are forced into it, and they're timid. You know, so we don't want that. And I use that opportunity to teach them that if you've been coerced into having sex, then you probably should not be having it. And it doesn't mean that it needs to continue just because you've had it once, you need to carry on having it. You can step back away from it, and when the time is right. There is also the emergency contraceptive pill that we give in schools. You know, we used to do it and people were up in arms. But we did reduce teenage pregnancy in one of the areas that I worked in by 32%. So I think the school nursing role is very vital. You know, we talk to the children, we educate them, we prevent the pregnancy, and I think your first port, I always tell them, let your parents be your first port of contact. Talk to them. Don't shy away from them, they'll educate you. And we as African mothers, you know, I know what we're like. Oh, we can't talk to our children about it. When once they start, they turn to age 7, age 8, and because they see it on telly, they see it, you know, they've got friends. I was a teacher before I became a nurse. And, you know, they have their slogans. Teacher looking over shoulder, which is teacher looking over, TLOS. You know, that's their language. I did not know what that meant, you know.
And one thing I do in my life is practicing what we call mindfulness. And I think, Sister Isatta, you should look at that as a session. Mindfulness. It just helps one to be more aware of their own feelings, in tune with what is going on with them, and just very aware of their surroundings. And for me, being aware of my surroundings is also looking at the person next to me, the person across from me, the person behind me. So I kind of can't see what they are kind of going through. And what I know I am very good at, that's why maybe I gave Okupadi. I will look at that person and say, you know, are you okay? Are you okay? They don't have to be so much as my friend, my best friend. But I can see that they have something going on, even though I may be facing maybe worse. But it's just having that empathetic feeling, so that empathetic approach in you to be able to say, look, somebody else is going through this. Let me support them. Let me be there. And when you have faith, I always come in with my faith in God and prayers. That also helps you to say, now beyond this, I will be able to face my own struggle and deal with it. Let me help somebody else if I can. And every time I hear Sister Adama speak, I see the passion she gives out about what she does. And I just want to say, please continue. Just the example you gave, you said, because of your intervention, you were able to now help this lady have a house, have benefits, right? Please continue. We totally rely on services like yours to come to us. Thank you.
Thank you. The rolling mic is going just for 1 minute, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
About driving, friendship, healthcare, but nobody mentioned financial health.
That's right.
Financial health is very important. Rule number 1, the biggest topic Africans are scared of or shy of is life insurance.
Yeah.
Make sure all of us have life insurance. No one dies from losses. When you have life insurance, your kids will be better off, your husband will be better off, and people will not be going around.
What about the wives?
The wife will be people will not be going around doing like a group thing just to raise money to go have a funeral for you. That's one thing. 2, in America we call it 401k. Say, I know people who like to live day by day. You need to save money for your retirement. Being old and poor is the worst thing that can happen to you in this life. Being old and poor is the worst thing that can happen to you. Because now we can run around, work 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs. But once you hit that age, 60 or late 50s, you can't do anything anymore. So now we have to save for tomorrow. The human hair, the button, it's not going to ever end. But if you are poor and you are old, it's better if you have died when you are living. Please, 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 your financial health is more important than even your health. Because when you are poor, you want to die. You feel like dying because you are poor. And the other thing, the final thing is this. I know us as young people, all of us want to have a house in Sierra Leone. All of us want to have a house in Sierra Leone. How many people have a mortgage in wherever they are? In London, in America? How many people? You see people who look, I call them house on the phone. Oh, look at my house. You go to Sierra Leone for like a week, or 2, or a month, or 6 months. If you buy a house in England, say 15 years ago, tomorrow you can go to England after this vacation, you can walk into a bank, you can collect 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 pounds of equity that you have built.
True.
But that house in Sierra Leone, if the Latin flow, now you didn't go for you.
That's so true.
So please, I know you care about our health care, but your financial health for me is more important. Please don't forget about it. Thank you.
My name is Harriet. I'm a senior Harriet. And I'm also a nurse, maybe for ages. And it's a very good thing I had the conversation. Well done, Isatta. Not all of us are bold to do what you're doing, and Nima as well. But as I said, it might be a very sensitive question I'm going to ask. Beauty, we all want to be beautiful. And as a child with a medical background, I thought black was beauty until we found that the men start making us feel you need to be bright to be beautiful. And this is one sensitive area that Nima is studying, which is skin cancer. So Nima, as a specialist nurse, with the help of Isatta, I personally think we need to be educating the society. Because a lot of us, do try to get that skin that was not given to us. And because of that, if you read the chemistry of some of these skin care we use, they expose us, your epidermis, and then we'll not go into that one. And so you will notice that most of some of these things we go through, it's not by choice, it just happens. But you put yourself more at risk. So I think, ladies, there's something for the community we need to educate, because lack of knowledge, or when you get the knowledge, you get wealth. It's just like I did ophthalmology work, so I don't use contact lenses, because as an eye idea, I know what the contact lens will do to your eyes, to your cornea. Eyelashes, I
I know what it does to the, I don't want to spoil the eyes, to the eyes. Because that some of you go around with swollen eyes, you might think it's blood pressure because you can have blood pressure in your sleep and you get that swollen eyes. Think about the lashes you just put on your eyelashes on your face. So please, Isatta and Emma, maybe something you can look to the community.
Thank you, Alex. I will elaborate on that. It's very good what you said, and I'm sure, Isatta, we need to do a program on that. In your eyelids, and it's going to cause you a lot of problems, like build up of the fat around your eyelids, and that will block your tear ducts from flowing, causing dry eyes. There's a lot, and the skin creams that we use as well, it breaks down the basal cell and putting us at risk of skin cancer. So there's a lot, but we'll do a program on that one day when Isatta is doing the Earth Show. Thank you very much, Iris, for bringing that up.
Thank you. I'm Junior Harriet, and one thing I want to tell our community is not just that insurance. My own insurance is called friendship insurance. Now, waiting make a call friendship insurance. Because if I bend cough today, and then Paddy force the team out. So, friendship, that's my new insurance. If anything could happen to me, I know people that can stand out or stand up for me. So, thank you very much, Mr. Gentleman. When you're 60, that's my one, but friendship insurance. So, I'll get that in line. Then the second thing, I think people up here, they forgot to say something. Let's put our house in order. Some of we afraid for talk about die, so picking them. Some of we even afraid for talk about die. For once we, something away, some of we are not system. We don't see everything. But if we cannot take anything back to London, let us take things like this to London. We in our community, we've seen it all. So please, I'm begging, ladies, gentlemen, let's just try to put our house in order. And thank you very much to everybody from the bottom of my heart. I love you, I'm still icing, but remember, you all don't can relax, we will go back with an open mind. And I wish you all best of luck as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to talk about mental health. Thanks everyone for everything you said. I was a victim of early teenager pregnancy. I got pregnant when I was 14 and a half. It's not because of money.
That's not a victim.
It's not because of money. It's not because of money. It's just because I went to the tap, I was playing and somebody touched me, I went for the sweetness. That's why I'm But let's talk about mental health. There is mental health in our society. We have a lot of mental problems. We are in denial of mental problems. I'm a victim of mental problems. I'm not scared to say that. I'm not ashamed. When I was going through divorce, separation, it was sad. I was self-harming. I was doing a lot of things. I was isolated because I was in denial. I didn't want to accept it. But I thank God for my manager. I thank God for my colleagues. I am standing here today. You know the reason why I'm saying that is among us. Let us don't judge one another. Let's support one another. If I don't call my sister, let her don't say, oh, she did not call me, I'm not calling her. No. Let's check on one another. I was in denial for over 2 years. I was self-isolated. Lack of communication. I was in tears. I did not tell my family what I was going through. The battle was not easy. As I am talking to you now, I'm still having the mood swing, but thank God I have a manager. She's there, pushing me. When I told her about this holiday, she said, come, Richard, go, it's good for you. You know? So, thank you, Isatta, for doing this thing. It's good for our mental state. Please, let's talk to one another. Let's support ourselves. We are family. We are sisters. Mental health is real. I'm telling you guys. If you see your children presenting unusual behavior, call them. Talk to them. You don't know the bullying they're going through. I'm working with teenagers, kids. They've been bullied. They are coming to hospital. It is sad. I am seeing it every day. I am doing the job. I am seeing it every day. Please, let's support ourselves. We are all one family. That's why
Thank you so much, Rachel. As well, thank you. Mental health is real. And you know, the mindset we have from Sierra Leone, we only think passing grace, we're putting clothes in the past naked. In the past with church clothes, or they eat that grown, you know, we begin at the stone arm and stuff. But actually, in this country, as in the West, there is something we call high functioning mental health. You can actually have people suited and booted, working, going to work, and they're suffering from some form of mental health. So please, let us be mindful, because a lot of things can trigger it. Rachel's one is relationship, divorce, separation. Those kind of things trigger mental health problems. Because in our community, what we're good at is analyzing and dissecting other people's affairs. We don't let time and also when married, so we're problem that we start to analyze and give who that will be the judge and the jury. We decide whether they be wrong, we decide who. There's a saying that says, do not judge me until you walk a mile in my shoes. That means nobody judge nobody. Mind your own business. Where is Valerie? Valerie wants to say something. Yeah.
I'm a prison officer. I've been doing that job for 20 years now. And of late, for the past 8 years, I would say, there are loads of Sierra Leone children, whether they were born here, whether they were born in Freetown, they are all in prison now because of peer pressures. But sometimes when we hear, like, Nelly's son is in prison, we start gossiping. And that takes me back to Luna, and that takes me back to Peggy, about what they said. Let's support one another. It is good for us to have a community relationship, a community network. When we don't see Nelly's son, don't judge, because you don't know at that time what happened. What are we doing to support? Gossip is very bad. Let's support one another as brothers and sisters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Valerie. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to take this opportunity to thank you all of my younger brother, who is always creative and, as I said yesterday, brought me into the community and constantly pushing me. I'm sorry for those who this was not their cup of tea, but again, it is the cup of tea for lots of you here. That's why we're here. So thank you so much for coming. I want to thank you. Please join me in thanking our panelists. Some of them are not always on stage, but as always, they said there's always a beginning. So thank you, Isatta. Thank you, Melvin. Thank you, Nuna. Thank you, Peggy. You're a veteran anyway. Thank you, Adama. Well done. And thank you, Mabinti, for also sharing with us your story. And thank you, Nima, for all your support as always. Jalloh is somewhere, but him and Lito cooked up this idea, by the way. So I didn't have anything to do with it. I was just called and said, guess what? If we're not going to the beach anymore because it's been closed, we've got an idea. And I'm like, come on then, let's go. Knowledge is power, as Auntie Harriet said. Knowledge is power. I'm sure all of you here have learned at least one or two things here. Let's take them away and make ourselves better individuals and persons. Feel free to come down, ladies and gents. Thank you so much.
Boy, I pray for me. Mama, pray for me. I'm in the jungle. I want to make money. Boy, I pray for me. Papa, pray for me. Oluwa guide my footsteps in this journey. Oh yeah, pray for me, pray, pray, pray.